another view on this Sassa grant crisis. A rather frustrating September it's been for the country's recipients, with the Postbank system glitch resulting in about 500,000 recipients not receiving their money on time. 3 weeks later, some beneficiaries finally received their grants today, and this has impacted livelihoods and families who depend solely on their grants. Now, to unpack the impact of this on women and children, I'm joined now by Bafana Khumalo from the Sonke Gender Justice organization, and he joins us virtually. Speaking to various people who work in your sector, the one thing that it seemed really angered your organizations and those who work with these types of recipients every day is the fact that there seemed to be a lack of urgency in trying to rectify the issue and getting the money to these recipients as fast as possible.
Well, you know, this is really shameful, as we said in our statement. It's clear that the state is really dysfunctional. We are seeing a lot of systemic problems in various areas, ESCOM, water crisis. It takes various forms. But I think to experience what Sassa recipients are experiencing is really shameful and really a crime against the people, because these are vulnerable communities who depend on these resources. And it's unthinkable that we'll be experiencing something like this, and it takes 2 to 3 weeks for a functioning state to resolve whatever glitch that may have caused this problem.
You point out in that statement that this is not the first time that this has happened. What do you think the impact of this is going to be? Because one would think that there is a massive deficit in trust between the recipients and government, because now people don't even know if they can trust the fact that in a week's time their money is going to be there for their next payment.
Well, I mean, it's been a problem for over a year now. If you talk to our colleagues at Black Sash, they will tell you almost periodically, recipients are told, no, the date is going to shift, the money will only be available at this time. Recipients will tell you they go to the outlets almost on a monthly basis. There's no guarantee that you will get the money when you should get it. On many occasions, people go there and they are told, no, the money is finished, come back tomorrow or in a few days' time. Now, really, this is unacceptable, because many of these people have to borrow money to get transport so that they receive their grants and they can buy food, because this money is used essentially for basic needs. Now, if you borrow money and you go and you don't get your grant, what does that mean? It means you must go back and borrow again. And they borrow from Mashonisas because they can't borrow from banks. So what starts as a very systemic problem by the state creates enormous challenges for very vulnerable communities. We raise a point in our statement. If this happened to Parliament, this matter would never be resolved.
Yeah, you also point out that the Postbank is responsible for the payment of about 40% of grants to Sassa beneficiaries. Now, we've heard over the last couple of weeks all kinds of promises being made. There were apologies from various cabinet ministers. The Postbank board is being changed, and all kinds of changes being promised. Based on the work that you and your colleagues do, how do you think the system should change so that we don't have this month-on-month angst around whether or not people are going to be getting their grants?
I think we should be exploring many opportunities. We've got a functioning banking system in this country. Why are we not looking at that as an option? We have a very vibrant financial services system. You can send money through PEP stores, through checkers, and there are all these options that we could be looking at, and yet we are propping up the system. As the colleague you interviewed earlier who indicated, the postal services has been on a downward spiral for many years now. We all know that. And this by a government that, by the way, wants to build a state bank. If this is the example of what it would mean to have a bank run by the state, then we are in for it as a country.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Powerful point there from Bafana Khumalo from the Sonke Gender Justice. We thank him for his time this evening.